Imagine you hired a business developer who talked only about themselves, sounded just like your competitors, never asked questions, and never followed up. You're probably thinking to yourself, I'd fire them in a heartbeat, but that's your website, and it's been on your payroll for years. The firms winning more work didn't hire more business developers, they turned their website into one that never sleeps. So in this video, I'll show you the 4 ways your website is quietly losing you work, and what to do instead if you want your website to actually get clients to take the next step. I'm Josh Miles, and I've spent 20 years reviewing and redesigning AEC websites, and most of them have the same problem. They're not building relationships, they're just yapping, and yapping is not selling. Pull up your website. Count the number of times you say we, our, or your firm's name on your homepage. For most AEC firms, that number is somewhere between 7 and 15. Now count the number of times you say you or talk about the client. Usually that's around 0. Sometimes 1 if you get lucky. I call this the wee problem. And as gross as it sounds, that's exactly the point. Most AEC firms are weeing all over themselves on their own website. Our people, our process, our projects, our awards, our history, you can almost hear the splashing. Here's the issue. Clients don't hire firms because they're impressed with the firm. They hire firms because they see themselves, their project, their problem, their risk, their ambition, all reflected back at them. They hire the firm that seems to actually understand what they're up against. But your website is a non-stop monologue about your firm. The client never sees themselves in the picture. They scroll for 10 seconds, they don't feel understood, and move on to the next firm on their list. The fix isn't to delete your team or hide your services. It's to flip the lens. Instead of, we're a full-service architecture firm with expertise across multiple market sectors, maybe try something like, you're planning a facility that has to work for the next 50 years. Here's how we help owners get it right the first time. It's the same firm, same capabilities, completely different signal. The rule is simple. The clients should see themselves on your website before they see you. Even if you fix the wee problem and make your site about the client, you've got a bigger problem. Because right now, you probably sound exactly like every other firm they're considering. Try this experiment. Open your website in 1 tab and open 3 tabs of your top competitors' websites in 3 more tabs. Now, mentally strip out the logos. Look at the homepage copy, the taglines, the About Us page. Could a prospective client tell which one is yours? For most AEC firms, the answer is no. And this is what I call lost in the sea of sameness. Your firm has a story, a point of view, and most AEC firms skip it altogether. It's how you help your clients win the day. None of that's on your website. Sameness is invisible, and invisible firms don't get the call. The deeper fix here is better brand strategy, which I talked about in the last episode. We'll put that up here. But the easiest place to start today is this. Write down the 3 things your firm believes about how you help your clients that your top competitors do not. Real opinions, real conviction. The thing you'd argue about at dinner. Put those on your homepage. Even one of them is enough to get you off the shores of the sea of sameness. Because the moment a client sees a point of view they haven't seen on 6 other firms' websites, they might slow down. They'll read, they'll pay attention. A point of view is the most underused conversion tool in AEC marketing. Okay, so now your website's about the client, and it sounds like an actual firm with actual opinions. But there's still a problem, because right now, your website is doing all the talking and none of the listening. Think about how a great business developer actually works in person. They don't walk in and start pitching. They ask questions. Not just what's the project, timeline and budget, but where did the last firm fall short? What does success look like when this project is done? They listen, and every answer pulls the prospect deeper into the conversation. Now look at your website. How many questions does it ask the visitor? Most AEC websites ask 0. This is the self-indulgent salesperson. A salesperson who never asks a question isn't selling, they're yapping. And yapping, that's what got your website fired in the first place. The fix is to build small qualifying interactions into the site. Not a pop-up quiz, not a contact form with 20 fields, real specific questions on the right pages. And pages built around questions are golden for clients searching Google and AI for new ideas and answers. Each answer routes the visitor to a more specific page, a more specific case study, and a more specific call to action. Suddenly the website is doing real BD work. It's qualifying. It's listening. It's making the prospect feel like the site was built for them, not everyone. A website that asks questions converts at a rate that yappers just can't touch. But there's one final piece, and without this last one, none of this other stuff matters. Click through your website like a stranger. Arrive at the homepage, click into a project, click into a service page, click into the About page. Now ask yourself, what am I supposed to do next? For most AEC firms, the answer is nothing. Or at the best, scroll to the bottom, find Contact Us in the footer, and fill out a generic form. And wait. This is the dead-end website, and it's where most of your website's potential conversions quietly die. A great business developer never leaves a meeting without a next step. I'll send over a case study tomorrow. Let's get a 30-minute call on the calendar next week. Let's grab coffee. Here's our capability statement. I'll follow up next Friday. Always the next step. Your website should do the same thing on every page, not one generic Contact Us button hiding in the footer. A clear contextual next step that fits where the visitor is right now. Someone reading a project case study, offer them a similar case study or a project fit call. If they're on a service page, offer them a downloadable qualifications PDF. Someone 3 pages deep, they're warm. Give them a direct path to a working session or discovery call. The best AEC websites have a ladder of calls to action, or CTAs. Small commitments for early stage visitors, bigger asks for serious ones. Every page knows the visitor is somewhere in the journey and gives them the next logical step. And if your website can't answer the question, what should I do next? You don't have a business development tool. You have an online brochure with a dead end. So here's the truth about AEC websites. They're powerful validation tools, and they're the highest leverage business developer on your team. It works every hour of every day. It reaches more potential clients than your entire BD team ever will. And right now, for most firms, it's costing you work and you don't even know you're losing. Fix the wee-wee problem and make the site about the client, not your firm. Get out of the sea of sameness. Say something your competitors won't. Stop being this self-indulgent salesperson online. Ask the visitor real questions and eliminate the dead end. Every page needs an obvious next step. The firms I've watched go from invisible to in demand didn't do it by hiring a bigger BD team. They did it by finally putting their website to work. Now, if your website were a person, would you keep them on payroll? If you are ready to fire your website, you're gonna have to start planning the next one. So watch this video on the 7 AEC website design mistakes you need to avoid next. And if you'd like a free checklist of the top AEC website design mistakes, hit that link below and we'll send it directly to your inbox. If this was helpful, hit subscribe. This channel is built for AEC marketers and firm leaders who want to grow their practices through stronger brand, marketing, and BD strategies. New video every week. See you next time.